Please welcome Chief Legal Officer at Uber, Tony West.
Hello, Out and Equal. It is so good to be here with all of you at this incredible event. The first time we've been together since 2019. Let me thank Out and Equal CEO Erin Uritis, her incredible team, the board, for the vital work that you do every single day to advance the rights of LGBTQ people in workplaces around the world. I also want to give a shout out to my Uber colleagues who are here with me. Now, not trying to brag, but I've had the honor of being the executive sponsor for Uber's Pride ERG for about the last 5 years, and I have seen how their energy, how their passion, their tenacity has helped guide Uber further down the path of inclusivity and equality. It's led to things like supporting LGBTQ-owned businesses through our supplier diversity program. It's led to offering gender and identity inclusive parental leave, adoption, and dependent care benefits, and providing transgender employees with services that support all aspects of their journey through partnerships with medical carriers. I am so proud of the work Uber Pride has helped us to accomplish. And yet, as proud as I am of how far we've come, I'm mindful that we still have an awful long way to go. The fact is that as much as we strive to make every platform experience safe, respectful, and positive, we've not always lived up to that aspiration. We've sometimes fallen short, particularly when it comes to helping transgender and non-binary drivers navigate the unique challenges they face. And that is not okay. But here's my pledge. We will never stop striving to do better. Because it's not enough for Uber or for any company to simply hire more LGBTQ workers. That's a start, but it's not enough. It's not enough to say that we support our LGBTQ colleagues. We actually have to show up with actions that matter. That means building workplace cultures where people are invited to be who they truly are. Spaces that ensure diverse voices are heard, and where people don't just exist, they thrive. And each of us, no matter how we identify, each of us has a role to play in creating that inclusive reality. That is why I am so honored to be here with you today in Las Vegas. As an ally, I am thankful to play my part. You know, throughout my career, whether it's been in the public sector or the private sector, I've been privileged to stand with this community, whether it was as the Associate Attorney General of the United States in the Obama administration, arguing successfully to reverse the government's shameful position on the Defense of Marriage Act and help open the door to marriage equality, or as the General Counsel of a global company pushing our business to be one of the first to publicly oppose anti-LGBTQ legislation cropping up in states like North Carolina, Mississippi, and others. And I have to tell you, over the years, I've been asked more than a few times, where does it come from? This commitment to LGBTQ plus equality. After all, people will say to me, you're a straight black guy. Why do you care so much? I care because I know what it's like to be stereotyped and prejudged, to be misunderstood, to navigate the perils of code switching and intersectionality, to be on the receiving end of assumptions that are dehumanizing, demoralizing, and even dangerous. I care because if I've learned anything from working on civil rights, equity, and inclusion issues over the years, it is this: the struggle for equality may show up in different ways and in different places, but it always stems from fear and is always wrong. And when the rights of any group in America are under assault, we must all speak up. I care because I believe in the promise of this country. I know America has yet to live up to Dr. King's aspiration of a beloved community. I know we're a nation born with bigotry and patriarchy written into our founding documents. But I also know this: Americans have always envisioned a better, more just future for our country. And I know that in every generation since our founding, there have been those who've had the courage to push open the door of equality just a little bit wider. Not always leaders whose names you know, but more often the extraordinary, ordinary people whose names you'll never know. Regular folks doing their level best to live lives of purpose and dignity, folks who stood up for justice when given the chance. Folks like my parents, both of whom were raised in the deep, segregated South, who married young and moved way across the country to San Francisco where they didn't know a soul, and who raised my two younger sisters and me to appreciate how all movements for equality are connected. That the fight for racial equality, that's connected to the fight for marriage equality. That defending our religious freedom, that's connected to defending reproductive freedom. That protecting the rights of citizens, that is connected to safeguarding the dignity of immigrants. From Selma to Stonewall, we are all connected. So whether we share the same identity or not, each of us has the power to stand up for somebody else. I know I stand here today because somebody somewhere stood up for me. And when we stand up for one another, we stand up for us all. That is the spirit in this room today. That's why we're here in Las Vegas. To network, yes. To share ideas and best practices, yes. To have a little fun, maybe play a little blackjack, yes. But we are also here because we know that we still have work to do to make our country live up to the promise of equality that we have made to ourselves. Because friends, as long as nearly half of all LGBTQ plus workers feel they must remain closeted at work, we have work to do. As long as there are trans kids who are afraid to go to school, we have work to do. As long as public libraries succumb to pressure to remove LGBTQ plus books from their shelves, or politicians weaponize gender-affirming care for minors by calling it child abuse, we have work to do. We've come a long way. We've come a long way in this country, no doubt. But Coretta Scott King, she was right. Freedom is never really won. You have to win it in every generation. So y'all, we have to keep pushing. In ways both big and small, we have to keep pushing. In classrooms and in C-suites, from playgrounds to church pews, wherever you sit, whatever your job, there are opportunities for you to push that door of equality open just a little bit wider. Harvey Milk said it best. It takes no compromise to give people their rights. It takes no money to respect the individual. It takes no survey to remove repressions. But friends, what it does take is something each of us has. It takes empathy. It takes decency. It takes humility. It takes civility. It takes love. It takes courage, because there is no love without courage. It takes standing together against all injustice and discrimination wherever and however it shows up. It takes all of us, which is why, whether I'm in the government or out, in the public sector or in the private sector, I will always, always be honored to stand by you, to stand for you, to stand with you. Enjoy this conference. Thank you very much.